I'm sorry that you don't see it that way, but the structure is the same.
Well, I can say the same thing about you, Matt, respectfully. I'm sorry you don't see it that way. But the fact is, you don't have a standard by which you can judge whether these logical absolutes are or are not conceptual. I'm asking you for a list. Tell me what they are not. I will write them down here on my computer as we're talking.
You're asking me to prove that a God doesn't exist, essentially.
No, I'm not.
And I don't. Yes, you are, essentially.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Let me finish.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you to tell me.
I'm going to hang up on you in a second, Matt, if you don't let me finish this. I'm making an analogy here. I'm sorry that your brain missed it. You are essentially asking me to prove in your mind with these logical absolutes what they aren't. I can't tell you what they are.
No, I do not believe in putting an atheist on the spot and saying, prove God does not exist. It's proving
Then
negative.
stop doing it.
I don't do that, and that's not what I'm doing. I tell Christians to stop doing it.
You just did it with regard, not God, with regard to the logical absolutes.
No, you said, because these things are not conceptual by nature. Okay, great. Then what are they? And you couldn't tell me what they really are.
They are non-conceptual. There are two possibilities. They are conceptual or non-conceptual, and I'm saying they're non-conceptual.
Okay, great. Now we're making progress.
I said that an hour ago.
If they're non-conceptual, then I'm going to assume that what your meaning is they're physical.
No. Non-conceptual does not mean physical. It means non-conceptual. It means that it's not conceptual. Whether or not it's physical or not is not the issue. You're making a fallacy. You're making a fallacy of exclusion. You're saying there's either physical or conceptual, and that's all there is.
That would be a false dichotomy, not exclusion.
You are excluding other options. False dichotomy is a fallacy of exclusion.
I want you to tell me what they actually are.
I told you, they're non-conceptual.
What does that mean?
It means they're not concepts.
Okay, so logical absolutes are not concepts.
That's correct.
Okay, they're not concepts. Are they not anything else?
I have no idea.
Okay.
What does anything else mean?
So you know for a fact that these things are not concepts.
Do you know for a fact they're absolutes?
The statements are non-concepts. So A is equal to A. That's a non-concept.
A is equal to A.
It's a non-concept.
It is not a concept, but we can conceive of that. The statement is not the essence.
But it's not a concept, but we can conceive of it. Do you know of any place where A equals A exists outside of the mind?
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist?
That's
then
correct.
How come we're talking about it?
No. Now you've really changed scopes, because existence, I'm sorry if we're using a different word here, goes back to what is in reality. These things.
Is my thought a reality?
These things transcend reality. Reality is subject to them.
Do your thoughts exist?
My thoughts exist, yes.
Okay, then we have concepts that really exist.
Yes, we do.
So the statement.
But I said that they're not concepts.
A is a conceptual statement. It
yes.
exists.
Yes, the conceptual statement A equals A exists.
So then it exists in your mind?
The conceptual statement A equals A exists. The
Okay,
actual thing that statement points to is not a concept.
It is a truth statement, which is conceptual by nature, which probably reflects reality. You cannot give me the necessary preconditions for intelligibility. The only thing you can do is presuppose the validity of logic without it giving the necessary conditions for its existence. The very argument of Tag is this. They are conceptual by nature because they are of the mind. They only occur in minds. You don't find them under rocks. You can't freeze them. You can't take a picture of them.
They're immutable.
If you say that they are not of the mind, then you have to tell me, what are they? Whatever your argument is, I don't care, Matt. Whatever you say, that's what it's not going to be. That's not helping the argument at all. I would want an atheist.
I'm not trying to help your argument. I'm trying to show you where you went wrong.
But with all respect, Matt, you're not. I mean, we both will not agree on this.
I identified a fallacy in there, and it's a fallacy of structure.
I've corrected many of the times you've cited a fallacy being wrong, saying, no, that's not it, it's actually this one.
No, you have said it's not a fallacy, but you haven't actually corrected it. You've just said that it's not a fallacy. When we're what we're talking about here is, and you keep changing scope.
Woo.
There is in my mind a concept statement, A equals A. That concept statement is a concept in my mind. It points to something, just as a concept of an apple points to something. In the apple case, it points to something physical. In the concept A equals A, it points to something abstract.
Yeah. Did you invent the concept?
No.
It's not dependent upon you.
It's not. The concept itself, that concept statement, is not dependent upon me, but the concept statement itself is contingent upon my existence and my ability to conceive it. Because if I'm not here, then my concept disappears.
So different minds can think these things up and bring them in or out of existence according to their creative ability?
No, they don't bring them in and out of existence. They bring the concepts in and out of existence. Whatever concepts you have in your mind, you have brought them into existence in your mind. Not in reality, not as a physical thing, in your mind.
Let me run with that. Let me run with that a little bit. You're an atheist who denies the existence of God, period, right?
Wow, where'd you get that from?
I'm going somewhere, but am I right? Let me ask you this.
I'll say you are, because at least for every practical definition of God that I've ever heard that's not, God is love or happiness or something where God is being a label stuck onto something else, or God is the logical absolutes. Yes, I don't believe in any of those other gods. I don't believe in those supernatural, transcendent thinking minds.
Okay, so you are a materialistic naturalist then?
Essentially.
Okay. That would mean then that, to burning this down really quickly, your mind, your brain, is the product of physical properties in the universe and biochemical reactions.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're limited to and governed by the physical properties of physical properties.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
That means that there is no such thing as logic.
No.
Let me finish. Logic is the process of proper inference. If biochemical reactions are all that you are thinking, then all that you can say is that what you perceive to be logically true and absolute and necessary is nothing more than the result of chemical reactions in your brain.
Agreed. Here's the problem.
That would not be logic.
Here's the problem.
Your system is self-refuting.
Here's the problem. You just said what you perceive, that perception is what exists. That concept...
In the mind.
Yes.
And only in the mind. You're talking about empiricism and epistemology here.
Yes, that concept exists in my mind.
In naturalism, logic doesn't have a place of its own transcendent existence in any way. There's nothing more than the properties of chemical reactions. That's correct, because
it's an abstract.
Then there is no such thing as logic in your worldview.
It is the essence of what it is. Here's what confuses me the most. How can guys like you not get this and refute it constantly and then turn around and make these exact same points about a God where you're taking the same characteristics and then extending it to also be a thinking, caring, loving mind?
Well, I'm going to answer that by asking you, how can a person as intelligent as you and as articulate as you not get it, that the transcendent nature of rationality itself is dependent upon conceptual realities and the absolute mind that authors them? Otherwise, you have no rationality to begin with.
Because they're not.
Because your answer, what you say, is not true. We both agree that logic exists independent of what you and I are, and even though
we don't, and that's the problem. We don't both agree that. Let me finish. We don't both agree that logic exists independent of us. We both agree that the absolutes upon which logic are based exist independent of us. Logic is purely conceptual and contingent upon a mind to use.
Let's go with that then. So then the conceptual absolute, these logical absolutes, do they depend upon our existence or their existence?
They don't depend on anything.
They're not existing?
In what sense? In the sense that they're a part of reality? No, reality depends upon them. They are true.
But you said they're non-physical. So what other options are there?
I don't know.
You
Abstract.
Don't know?
Abstract.
So wait. You're telling me about what they are and aren't, and arguing against them, but you don't even know what they are.
Well, this is actually one of the things that I find most laughable about apologists, and I won't even ask for you to not take this personally. Once again, you get to this point where I don't know is such a bafflingly unacceptable answer to you. This is the colossal arrogance of the theist position, that they're unable to say, I don't know, maybe we'll find out someday. And instead of accepting an I don't know, they just go ahead and leap to the first thing that seems most reasonable to them.